An urban legend, urban myth, urban tale, or contemporary legend is a form of modern folklore consisting of stories that may or may not have been believed by their tellers to be true. As with all folklore and mythology, the designation suggests nothing about the story's veracity, but merely that it is in circulation, exhibits variation over time, and carries some significance that motivates the community in preserving and propagating it. Despite its name, an urban legend does not necessarily originate in an urban area. Rather, the term is used to differentiate modern legend from traditional folklore in pre-industrial times. For this reason, sociologists and folklorists prefer the term contemporary legend. Urban legends are sometimes repeated in news stories and, in recent years, distributed by email. People frequently allege that such tales happen to a friend of a friend, so often, in fact, that friend of a friend has become a commonly used term when recounting this type of story. Some urban legends have passed through the years with only minor changes to suit regional variations. Here is one of the urban legends. The chain letter is a message that attempts to convince the recipient to make a number of copies and pass them on to a certain number of recipients. The chain is an exponentially growing pyramid, a tree graph that cannot be sustained indefinitely. Common methods used in chain letters include emotionally manipulative estuaries, get-rich-quick pyramid schemes, and the exploitation of superstition to threaten the recipient. Originally, chain letters were a letter sent by mail. Today, chain letters are often sent electronically via mail, social network sites, and text messages. Chain letters are letters which promise a phenomenal return on a small effort. The simplest form of a chain letter contains a list of people you are supposed to send something to the top person on the list. Then you remove the top person on the list, sliding the second person into the top position. Add yourself in the bottom position. Make copies of the letter and mail them to your friends. The promise is that you will eventually receive something in return. There are two main types of chain letter. Number 1. Hoaxes is attempt to trick or defraud users. A hoax could be malicious, instructing users to delete a file necessary to the operating system by claiming it is a virus. It could also be a scam that convinces users to spread the letter to other people for a specific reason, or send money or personal information. Phishing attacks could fall into this. 2. Urban legend are designed to be redistributed and usually warn users of a threat or claim to be notifying them of important or urgent information. Another common form are the emails that promise users monetary rewards for forwarding the message or suggest that they are signing something that will be submitted to a particular group. Urban legends usually have no negative effect aside from wasted time. The oldest known channel for chain letters is written or printed on letters on paper. These might be exchanged hand to hand or distributed through the mail. One notorious early example was the Prosperity Club or Send a Dime letter. This letter started in Denver, Colorado in 1935, based on an earlier luck letter. It soon swamped the Denver post office with hundreds of thousands of letters before spilling into St. Louis and other cities. Why do people think chain letters could work? The reason people are even tempted by these schemes is that the human mind does not have an intuitive view of geometrical progressions. Suppose we presume the chain letter to have a list of 5 people. You are asked to send one postcard to the person on top of the list and remail the letter to 5 friends. You are promised thousands of postcards from all over the world if everyone participates. A postcard, 5 photocopies and envelopes, and 6 stamps. Not much to risk to see what comes back. Vanisdale, the folklorist who compiled the Pepper chain letter archive and wrote an accompanying creation chain letter evolution, defineskin letters as writings that explicitly ask recipients to make or purchase copies for distribution. Oftentimes, his correspondence involves slightly modifying the original message, perhaps by updating a list of intended addressees. Types of chain letters run the gamut from luck to protection, charity, religion, advocacy, money-generating schemes, parody and exchange. Lynn Heidelbaugh, a curator at the Smithsonian Central Postal Museum, also cites letters that test how quickly chains can move through the system. A kind of social network ING experiment that includes what Vanisdale dubbed sword record chain letters. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, email and social media further revolutionized chain letters' form and purpose. As Bijan Stephen wrote for Thevagine in 2018, migration to the internet saw change shift from get-rich-quick scheming or harvesting information from suckers to something more playful. In a 2015 article for this, Alexandra Hayward noted that forwarded chains had become more ridiculous, obscene, and laughable. Thanks to the internet, sending chain letters to friends and family is incredibly simple. You just pick the friends you think might actually do it, and send it off with just a few strokes of the keyboard, says Balanas. So it's just exponentially a lot wider of a phenomenon, and it can go around the world a lot faster than it ever did before. Today, chain letters are no longer anonymous. In fact, wrote Balanas for folklore in this year, personalized opening statements are a major component of effective email or social media chains, reminding readers that those who fail to comply are letting countless nameless individuals down, as well as some altruistic person in your own sphere. Choosing to continue an email chain is a participatory event that heightens a feeling of community, explains Kibbe in New Media Society. Now, with social distancing measures leaving many isolated from their friends and family, such virtual connections are more appealing than ever. These are ways that we can both expand our world and also reinforce who we are, who our community is, says Heidelberg of the National Postal Museum. And you certainly want that in times of crisis, when you want to know that you have a support network. When Balanas emailed out a recipe exchange in April, she received responses from several friends who told her they refused to participate in chain letters on principle. These same individuals, however, partly fulfilled the chain's directions by sending her recipes and life updates of their own. Even if the chain got broken, says Balanas, the exchange afforded her the opportunity to reconnect with friends and add an array of new culinary experiences to her to-do list. Have you ever received an email saying that Bill Gates is sharing his fortune, and all you have to do to receive part of it is to forward the email to as many friends as you can? You may find it hard to believe, but this email and variants of it have actually been sent out on several occasions, and people have fallen for them. And this is just one example of what internet security specialists call chain letters. Chain letters are messages sent to a huge number of people, asking each recipient to forward them to as many other people as they can. While some of them can be amusing or sent for fun by the original sender, others may carry hidden threats to your internet security, viruses, phishing attempts, etc. In any case, the letters are so well written that they actually look authentic and convince you to take the action suggested. Without antivirus protection, you can only imagine what can happen to your computer and personal data. But chain letters are no longer being sent via email only. With the rise of social media and the increasing number of mobile users, cybercrooks have turned their attention to these means of communication also. Thanks to their wider span, their buzz-creating potential, and thus capacity to generate more victims. So, nowadays, a chain letter may take the form of an email, an instant message, a posting on a friend's social network profile, or a text message. If you learn how to recognize them and what threats they pose, you can go a long way in protecting your internet security, both at home or while mobile. A chain letter is a get-rich-quick scheme that promises that your mailbox will soon be stuffed full of cash if you decide to participate. You're told you can make thousands of dollars every month if you follow the detailed instructions in the letter. A typical chain letter includes names and addresses of several individuals whom you may or may not know. You are instructed to send a certain amount of money, usually 5, to the person at the top of the list, and then eliminate that name and add yours to the bottom. You are then instructed to mail. Recently, high-tech chain letters have begun surfacing. They may be disseminated over the internet, or may require the copying and mailing of computer disks rather than paper. Regardless of what technology is used to advance the scheme, if the mail is used at any step along the way, chain letters don't work because the promise that all participants in a chain letter will be winners is mathematically impossible. Also, many people participate, but do not send money to the person at the top of the list. Some others create a chain letter that lists their name numerous times, various forms with different addressee. So, in reality, all the money in a chain is going to one person. Do not be fooled if the chain letter is used to sell inexpensive reports on credit, mail order sales, mailing lists, or other topics. The primary purpose is to take your money, not to sell information. Selling a product does not ensure legality. Be doubly suspicious. Participating in a chain letter is a losing proposition. Turn over any chain letter you receive that asks for money or other items of value to your local postmaster or nearest postal inspector. Write on the mailing envelope of the letter or in a separate transmittal letter, "I received this in the Mail and believe it may be illegal. Chain letters are illegal. Chain letters are a waste of time.